One of the questions we get all the time from families who are interested in coming to Liberty is why we have the students study Latin. And I think one of the answers that come to the forefront of any Latin teacher's mind is the vocabulary. About 85% of polysyllabic or more than one syllable words in our English language come from the Latin language, and that is huge, that's so substantial. Because Liberty students especially have been learning the vocabulary since kindergarten, and we're not just talking about full words in the Latin language, we're talking about prefixes and suffixes. They already have the ability, when they see a word that they don't know, their brain immediately tells them to start breaking it down, because that's what they've been doing with Latin from day one in kindergarten. Being able to break those stems or prefixes off is super helpful in getting at at least the basic meaning of the word. And students who have gone through Liberty's Latin curriculum are really successful, and that's why our scores tend to be some of the highest scores in the state.
Studying Latin has really reinforced my understanding of the English language as well, because both have grammatical concepts that we learn about, and they just reinforce each other and complement each other, and just being able to see how different things work in both languages and seeing how they can work together is really cool.
Latin here at Liberty Common High School is a really exciting subject because it is able to develop not only language skills, but skills in logic. Latin is sort of like a puzzle. The endings of Latin words operate as the edges to the puzzle, and the definitions of the words create the picture. Latin is often compared to math because you have to follow a set of steps in order to finish that puzzle. That type of learning is really only unique to languages with inflected endings like Latin.
A lot of Latin is linguistic problem solving. You have to know all your grammar, you have to know all your vocabulary, and you have to put it all together to understand the meaning of the written word. As a result, students become close and careful readers of Latin, and this is especially wonderful when you start to engage with Latin poetry. Latin poets intentionally arrange their words in a line of verse so that they could create a word picture. This is a line from Virgil's Aeneid, Book 1, Summa placidum caput extulit unda, and that means he raised his calm head from the crest of a wave. If you look at the diagram, you can see the words from the crest of the wave are on the outside, summa and unda. And in the middle are the words for his calm head, placet capidum. And that shows that the waves are on the outside and Neptune's head is in the middle, and he rises up through the wave to see what is happening. And so it creates a beautiful word picture. It's something really different in Latin poetry compared to English poetry.
Latin and the Roman world are the foundation for our Western culture. So studying Latin and the world in which the Romans lived gives us a unique perspective into those foundational principles. A class like Latin, in addition to helping with critical thinking, problem solving, literary criticism as skills, is also inherently co-curricular. It bridges the gap between things like history, where we can study events that were written about by people who experienced them. Philosophical works upon which Enlightenment thinkers based their philosophies. We can study ancient tragedies and comedies and just mythological stories that form the foundation for modern stories as well. And then when we read about later events, we have context. We are participating in a tradition that dates back as long as the written word existed, which I think it's really hard to overvalue that kind of understanding and context.